Hello, everybody. Welcome. Am I frozen?
Yes.
What the heck? Oh my god. Okay, hold on. Hold on.
Hey, everybody. What's going on?
Black screen now? What in the world?
Technical difficulties. It's fine. How's everybody?
I don't know what is wrong. Why do this to me? Let me refresh.
It's kind of creepy. Okay. Hi, everybody. Okay. Hello. Thank God, because bruh.
Yeah, this is like not the time to do this, StreamYard. Like, what is going on? But anyways, hello, welcome. I am Vanessa. This is Bree, and we are the host for Prose Book Club. Latrexa Nova will be here soon. But if you do have some questions, we would love if you drop them in the chat. We do have some questions for Latrexa. So, you can always just listen to us chat and just get to know a new author. Maybe some of you have read from this author before. So let's kind of, while we're waiting for Latrexa, we can kind of talk about some of the books that they have. So the one that I read recently, actually Bree read it recently too, is Jacked Up. And if you haven't read this one, I recommend that you read it. Maybe not Kim though, because Kim's just here for fun. StreamYard making you fight for your life. Yeah. So Jacked Up is maybe like more of a sentient object, demon shifter romance. And it's got it's like dark romance, paranormal horror vibes. And it's a Jack in the Box that turns into more.
More is crazy.
There's a lot of trigger wordings in the book, but it was a fun time. It was definitely like I could see a lot of feminine rage in there,
It was comedic, honestly. Like it was very unserious.
Yeah, like if you're someone who needs you're like, man, these men are just the worst. Hitting on girls, just being sleazy. If you want a way to like off them fictionally, this is your book.
Yeah, for sure.
With a little bit of smut.
It's not very long either. I think
No.
I finished it in like an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm. And then let's see, another book that is really interesting is Halloween Spirit. I read this one last year. It's only 52 pages, but this has a girl named Penny, and she encounters the Grim Reaper, who's named Mortimer. So it's like a spicy, erotic novella with lots of puns. So if you couldn't tell, Latrexa is definitely Halloween vibes with dark humor and some smutty times.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we got to see them do a panel at Villains and Vixens.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty cool too.
Mm-hmm.
Get to know more of we got to see their personality, talk about books and everything. So it's exciting that you guys will get to see that tonight as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that they're definitely very fun, So if you're looking for something just like different to read, especially with Halloween coming up, I would definitely recommend Latrexa. And Zach is here. Hype. Hi. Chica's also here. Kim said, I'm here for the good vibes. Chica said, same, but I plan to try to do some reading. All good. Yeah, so this is definitely going to be like a really fun interview. Like, we want to ask questions about Latrexa's writing process and like non-spoilers about their books, maybe like sneak peeks of what they have coming up or things that they put out recently. So, if you have any questions, definitely post them in the chat because we can always add to the questions.
The show.
Yeah.
We're not clickbaiting you guys. There is going to be an interview. Okay.
Yeah, Latrexa is just getting ready because she's the Queen Halloween, okay?
Yeah, that takes time.
It does take time. I was actually I wish I had more time because I wanted to read, what was it called? Bitten on Halloween. Yeah. And it's a Halloween novella, Why Choose, with a zombie and a werewolf and a vampire.
Oh, everything.
Yeah.
Why choose?
Exactly. And that's like
literally.
That's my favorite. It says, on Halloween night, the lines between fantasy and reality blur as the monsters come out to play. Meanwhile, our human leading ladies, so there's more than one lady, are trying to celebrate the holiday in their favorite way and enjoying some hot men in costumes. But what they don't know is that the fern fangs on their sexy dates are entirely real. Can a human woman really find love with the creatures of the night, or have these women made a monstrous mistake? Now I'm like really curious because is it like 3 women and 3 men? I must know.
I don't know, but I'm looking through Latrex's backlog. And some of the titles of these are cracking me up. There She Blows. Or, where did the other one go? Getting Ahead.
Yep.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
No, these are great.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to put the cookies and cream one for Christmas because it's like a Christmas holiday.
I was about to say that. Or Home for the Gobble Days for Thanksgiving.
Why didn't we read that last year for Smutsgiving or whatever we did?
Oh, shoot. That would have been a good one.
Oh my gosh.
There's also Yo Lad's Tide Carol. And then this one is just so unhinged. It's called Mummy? Sorry.
I
Mummy?
was just looking at
Sorry.
that. Oh, wait. Zach said, I just read Mummy, Sorry, which had a female mummy. Does Latrexa have plans for monster girls? And are femme monsters underrepresented? That's a great question,
That
Zach.
is a really good question.
Yes, I would love to hear Latrexa's answer. They write pretty diversely, too, because there's, like, alien, there's alien stuff, there's, like, paranormal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Most recently, I think the most recent book was Cirrus About You, which was like clouds, like cirrus clouds. And it's part of this really cute series called Ghostlight Falls. So a bunch of like, a lot of them are monster erotica authors, but some of them are not. But they have this whole collection. I want to say there's like 15 or 18 books. There's a lot of books. And each one has a different, each book is like a different place in the town of Ghostlight Falls. So, like, there's one story about a bookshop, there's one story about a bakery.
That's cute.
Let's see, Cirrus is, I guess, just the clouds up above.
Just the clouds up above. No, you know what I'm waiting for? And please, anybody feel free to take this idea because I will not be writing it. But I think this is the perfect time to write a sentient romance about the redwood trees in California because of Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
I think that's the perfect time. I think now is the time to do
Watch
that.
her be something like a tree. Hold on. Tree smut.
No, it has to specifically be redwood trees.
Okay.
Redwood tree smut.
Maybe Latrexa will know.
Oh, okay. Maybe don't Google that.
I know. I was like, oh no, what did I just Google?
Do you see the image?
Yes.
Okay. Google at your own risk.
Latrexa's here.
Hi.
Hi. We were just looking up redwood tree smut.
Oh. I mean, other than what I wrote.
So yeah, we're trying to find well, because Bree was just talking about Taylor Swift has a song called Wood. Is that what it's called?
Wood, yeah.
I see.
I said it would be the perfect time to come out with a redwood tree sentient smut story.
I guess I don't have redwood specifically. I just have a tree. I swear to God, I did something with redwoods, but I can't remember. I like black out on stuff. The one of the last books that I just released, Slade in the Woods. That one,
Ooh.
It's not like a tree exactly. He's like a creature of there's two gods or like they're spirits, so like they take turns every season, like chopping off each other's head and being the one in power. They're kings.
Oh
yeah.
Okay, color me intrigued.
Is it better if I have it sideways instead of upright?
I don't know, try it.
Is it gonna rotate with me? No, it's just gonna make me sideways now.
Hold on. I don't think I can rotate it.
That's okay. I'll just be vertical.
Well, hello. This is
Hi.
We were just kind of chatting a little bit about some of your books and trying to entice people to read, especially because like Halloween's coming up, and
yes,
you know it's the perfect time to read because they're like very, what's the word?
Seasonal candy.
Yeah, but there's a word. It's like on theme for Halloween, basically. Right?
Yes,
the mood is right.
Yes,
you can read them year round, but like the mood is right now.
This is the true time to read them. Absolutely.
So we're gonna just like jump right in, but you know, for people who don't know who you are, other than you're Latrexa Nova, can you tell us a little about who you are and maybe like something about some of your books? Maybe pick a couple that you're like, yes, I want everybody to read this. It's my favorite.
Sure. Hello, my name is Latrexa Nova. I write paranormal. Okay, I like started out paranormal and then I like got further and further into monster romance. I also do like sci-fi romance as well. I think that my books they get very silly very fast because I write to entertain myself. But I also at the same time like I have a lot of like very important things I would like to say, and so it's a fun balance trying to say important things while keeping it silly. As far as a good place to start, it's Halloween season, so the 13 Kings of Halloween would be great. It is a bunch of short, fast, smutty, erotic stories, all based off of different classic Halloween like monsters. Basically, like you pick a random like character that it's like stock standard Halloween character sort of. Like that's what I was going for. It's like you could do a grab bag of old timey Halloween, you know, archetypes, and that's what I did. And then I also just released Serious About You, which is not exactly Halloween, but we just thought it would be fun to release like a fun like a paranormal town in Halloween season. So that's part of the Ghostlight Falls series, which is a lot of fun. And Jacked Up is probably the spookiest thing that I've written. And so if you like heavy, spooky, dark, messed up, super screwed up stuff, that would be the one to go for.
Yes, I made Brie read that one. I was like, just go for it.
No, I read it. It was dark, but honestly, I like dark, so it was very comical for me.
Yes.
I was laughing the whole time. It was a good time.
It's so funny because I guess people weren't expecting me to write it as dark as I did, but to me that's just like I don't know. It was for the bit.
Yeah, it's like, damn, this is dark.
Yeah,
because you said like I have like a lot of important things to say, and this is kind of like one form to do it, and like that's what I felt like with Jacked Up. It's like there were some themes of like depression, and I was like, dang, you like captured that pretty well. Of like at the beginning, when the main character is like just really going through it, not having a good time, very depressed, in a shitty situation.
Yeah.
And eventually, like, I don't want to spoil things for people, but eventually, like, things happen.
Yeah.
And there's ways that she gets revenge.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, the whole concept of like how like heavy her depression and like disassociation really with the world is like a big reason why like I had to make her that way in order to justify the way that like she is treated in the books because sorry, I am working on another one for that, but not her story really. But anyway.
I'm really excited.
Yeah. But because I wanted there to be a lot of manipulation and stuff like that, and I wanted it to be more realistic, and so but I also wanted to like walk this line of like her gaining back power in this like manipulative relationship and stuff like that, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm a really big fan of like the really screwed up relationship between like Louis and Lestat in an Interview with the Vampire. And like it's a genuinely toxic relationship, and that like Jacked Up is a genuinely toxic relationship, but also like there's certain aspects of that where like I wanted to give her more power in this relationship where like she starts to gain it back. And so it was trying to figure out how to get her from this like absolute low point to actually giving her power in a way where like she was making the choices and she wasn't the one being like manipulated quite as much. And so I think I put a lot more thought into the trajectory of it than people would expect, especially because like I am someone who's been in manipulative relationships and stuff like that. I didn't want to like completely misrepresent that or glorify it, and also it's kind of why the ending is the way that it is, which is something that I get a lot of.
I was literally about to say like the ending it's like not a traditional HEA, but it's like I don't know. It's like Inception.
Well, okay. The reason it ends the way it does is I was thinking about there's like an episode of Black Mirror where it's these two people that like the society is just like they have no like what's the point of staying in like this world if if it's not going to serve you, sort of thing. And it's not necessarily that I want people to do that, but I just like if they can be together and be, because also if she stays, this is so spoilery. It's just like, because if they stay where they are, like there's just like there's too many consequences. So I was trying to make it so that they could have the happiest ending that they could have, considering everything that's happened. Yeah.
It's a very different ending. So don't go in thinking it's going to be like magical unicorns and fluffy happy endings.
No.
Yeah. But yeah, it was definitely a really, I think Jacked Up has been one of my favorite reads by you so far. So
I'm so glad to hear that.
I recommend. So like you kind of mentioned just a little bit ago, like just some of your own personal life experiences kind of maybe get like put into stories. So we're just curious, like what inspired you to start writing?
I thought I was going to be a writer like my whole life. I mean, like when I was a little kid, like I thought I was going to be an author. And then what's so funny is like as a child, I figured out how difficult it was to like, or how much waiting there was involved in traditional publishing, and how much of a blockade there was to like actually getting stuff read. And then also at the time, you know, if you went outside of traditional publishing, it was just like a vanity press. And like I got so many like stupid little letters being like, oh yeah, get your poems like published in this like vanity press or whatever. And you have to pay like, you know, $50 to $500 to get it published. And this is me as a kid. I was like less than, I think somewhere between 8 and 12 is when like I was just like, oh, okay, so I'm just never gonna be able to do this, because I know like myself that one, at the time I was like, I'm going to be too stubborn to have to deal with like a publisher like demanding that I rewrite my book in a certain way, and two, I can't stand the waiting. So then I did this really roundabout route to I've always written my whole life, it's just in different forms. So obviously in high school, so in high school I had a very unique experience, because I went to a magnet school for the performing arts. And so I was in a playwriting and directing class, and so I got to write plays, and I did end up getting like playwright of the year in my junior year, which is pretty cool. Awesome. Yeah. And then I got like kind of pulled into film because of my best friend in high school. And so I was like trying to do both theater and film at the same time. And then I was trying to be a cinematographer and a director. And I would also like want to write plays and stuff, but my friend was like more focused on like really heavily screenwriting. So then I'm now trying to handle being a director, a cinematographer, and a screenwriter and a playwright for like regular plays. And then I think I'm like ending high school, and one of my friends is doing audio dramas, and I was like, wait, this is the coolest thing ever. Like you still do like old-timey radio stuff? And she was like, yeah. And so then I got pulled into that world, and I'm also like a really good editor. Oh yeah, that's the other thing that I wanted to do in film, is editing. Like it was mostly like cinematography and editing that I was really interested in. And so then I ended up like doing some editing, and then also like writing, and then I like got pulled into voice acting too.
So, oh my gosh.
You're like a jack of all trades.
Yeah. Wear all the hats.
So then I did that. I was like in the audio drama world for off and on for like 10 years. And then I moved across the country and worked at like a Victorian fair, like a reenactment fair. And then after that ended, I ended up doing like sorry, this is all like part of the writing journey, I swear.
This is very interesting.
Then I did a Renaissance fair, and I was sitting there, I was selling soap at this run fair, and I was like watching everybody, like all the performers and stuff like that, and I was like, there's no cohesive like performance, and I was like, they need like a real acting troupe. So then I ended up directing the acting troupe, and then I wrote a few plays for the acting troupe. And then I also at the same time I was my ex's dad like wanted there to be oh yeah, he had paid for these people to do like this ghost hunting show, and the ghost hunting show goes live on local television, and it's just like horrifically bad. And he's like, I can't handle my name being on this. I'm going to give you like free reign to do whatever you want to do. So you do that. So then I wrote like a kids show while I was there, and like also directed it and did all the puppets for it and all that stuff. And then I finally came home. Got back into theater, and then I got back into doing audio dramas again, um and then I started reading more in like 2019. I just, for some reason, I like fell down this rabbit hole of just like binging like rom-coms and historical romances. And I was like, oh, this is fun, because it's something I used to be so like uptight about writing and like needing to have things a certain way, and like I believed that like writing had to be like a certain thing. So this is important to my journey, because like it like unlocked that I was allowed to just have fun, and that things don't have to be perfect. So in like 2020 or 2021, one of my friends messages me because she's found this like old manuscript that I had for a book that I'd been writing since I was 13, and she's like, hey, you're a good writer, you should if you want to like make money off your writing, I can sort of show you the tools how to do that. And then I was like, oh, the concept of making money off of my writing is something I'd given up on like literally when I was a kid. So when she said this, I was like, oh, okay, we'll see. Because like in the past, like people thrown out like copywriting, all these other things that like just didn't serve me. But this is like, I had complete creative control over it. It's just like I had to start in erotica, because then you cut your teeth on erotica. But then I couldn't do normal erotica. And every single time I like came back for critique about like what I was working on, people would like, pick it apart and stuff like that. So then I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna write only for the sake of actually finishing it, because that was another problem that I had. I'm gonna do 13 stories all between September and October, and they're gonna be 5,000 to like 12,000 words, and I'm just gonna do it. It was like, I was shocked that I managed to do it, but something like just aligned perfectly for me to finally do it. And I made like my goal, which was like making $150 off of it in 1 month, which yeah. So writing has always been like a need in me, but as you can see, it's been this like crazy journey to get here.
Yeah, that's so cool though, like just learning, the journey to getting there, because it's not always just like I have these stories inside of me. Like sometimes people, yes, you have those stories inside of you, but there's also these other creative outlets that might also help people like expand their world, or figure out like, oh, maybe I want to write this way or not write this other way. And I don't know what's out there until I kind of stumble across it. And I just thought it was really interesting that you were like, oh, I started reading, and I was reading like rom-coms and historical fiction. It's like, that's very different than what you write.
It is. Yeah. I don't really read like a lot of monster romance. I do every now and then, because like I want to support my friends, and I also like am genuinely interested in the genre. But for some reason, like, I mean, like I also do just kind of prefer like paranormal spooky vibes and stuff like that. And my like the thing I grew up on was sci-fi, and also like witchy stories. So I don't necessarily have to have like romance in it for me to enjoy it. And also I still like, the other thing too is I'm ace. So like I still to this day kind of like skip sex scenes if they're not like interesting enough for me. But it's so funny to say that too, because like I obviously my books have so many sex scenes in them.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
No, that's funny. So since you don't really read the genre you write, you just gave a lot of backstory for where you would draw inspiration from, but is there any like particular source that you do get your inspiration from when you're writing these sentient romances or monster romances or anything? Like, do you look at a Jack in the Box and go, oh, yeah,
sort of. So it depends on like what story I'm writing and everything. With the Jack in the Box, is the reason I chose that is because at the time, Sylvia Morrow and Vera Valentine and I were all like joking around and stuff like that about making like a literal romances, or we were talking about doing sentient object romance and then got into a whole tangent about doing like literal romance where like the trope is the romance. So like an open door romance is what Unhinged is.
Okay,
Wow,
that
makes
makes sense.
Yeah.
We read that book and I was like, where did this come from?
Yeah.
That makes so much more sense.
Are you gonna tell me this is a love triangle?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, there's literally just a love triangle. So
that went over my head.
Me too.
Yeah. So my thing too is I was like trying to think of a sentient object romance, and my problem is I thought of, I guess, too many. Because so Jacked Up is actually not the first one I had the idea for. The first one I had an idea for was a Mortar and Pestle, which I still want to finish because it's such a good idea. It's these two gladiators who get trapped inside a mortar and pestle that like were constantly fighting each other, and then they end up like getting found by this chef in the modern world, or this chef in training in the modern world. So then but like right before they got put in the mortar and pestle, or I guess like technically they die. It all happens in the first chapter in what I wrote, but in this like they had been fighting for years, like they were each other's greatest foes in the Colosseum, and then the emperor like commands them that they have to battle to the death, and that's when like one of them finally confesses that like he's been in love with them the whole time. And then so the one who like manages to or the one who lives like drags him to Pompeii looking for someone to like because he heard of the soothsayer that's in Pompeii, and then that's how they get trapped in the mortar and pestle. So that was the first one that I had the idea for, but then I got like distracted because spooky season was coming up, and I was like, okay, I want there to be a sentient object romance that is like a bit spooky. So then I had the idea to do a Jack in the Box because I was trying to think of what kind of object could be spookier, and my head immediately went to like a possessed doll, but I was like, I don't want to have to work on the ick factor of that being like a baby doll. So so which is funny too, because I in the sequel I went back to like I want it to be a doll, but then I was like, I'm gonna figure out a way to do doll in a way where I don't find it creepy, or I mean not creepy but like gross, because I do want it to be creepy. But anyways, so that's why I went with the Jack in the Box. And then the other thing too is in Stuffed and in Unhinged, Vera and Sylvia pay what I call the landlord tax, wherein both of the landlords in those die. So I decided that in mine, I too was going to pay the landlord tax.
This is the omnibus, but
yes,
you also read this book too.
You should read the omnibus because Sylvia put so much effort into expanding the world and like coming up with like more of the ideas behind it. Sylvia's one of my absolute best friends, by the way. And then Vera is my my smut sibling. We actually we published on the same day for the first time. Neither of us realized this until we became friends.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
So
sorry, go on.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we got to see you guys talk on the panel at Villains and Vixens together.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was so cool. Truly such a good time.
Yeah. I was really overstimulated that whole panel, but it was really nice to hear everybody like talk and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a very fun panel, I would say.
Yeah. Yes, it absolutely was.
Zach also has a comment. There's a pestle in Carmilla by Luna Fury. It's not sentient, but it definitely goes places.
Yeah, they're very definitely can go places.
And then he does have a question about if you would write historical smut.
Yes. So I have 3 half-finished historical romances. But as far as like my Latrexa books, I have 2 that are currently out, and I have plans for 2 more. But I have accidentally kind of put them on the back burner because I have too many ideas. But the Regency Alien Planet series is my tribute to the obnoxious amount of Regency romances that I've read. So the first one, Ardently Abducted, is a loving tribute to Pride and Prejudice and adaptations of Pride and Prejudice, and also a loving tribute to the way in which adaptations absolutely bastardize the history of that these are set in, because like the costumes in like Bridgerton, for instance, are at least like a willful like fantasy of like Regency costume and everything. But like then you see other ones where like the whole point is that like you're telling a story, and so it doesn't have to be like completely like accurate, even though I find it really satisfying, like that Emma with the recent Emma that came out, I can't remember her, my brain is blanking on her name, but anyways, that one has like the best costumes. And also I love that like they take a moment to like really show you how authentic the costumes are, because at some point Emma like pulls up her dress to warm her butt against the fire, and she's not wearing anything underneath, because they wouldn't have worn anything underneath at the time. Anyways, so
Oh, that's really interesting.
One of my major special interests is just like everyday things like in history, and I've accidentally like grown a lot of knowledge about like costuming and also like day-to-day life and stuff like that because of it. So yeah, that one's Pride and Prejudice. And then Deck the Holograms is a Christmas Carol wherein all the ghosts are just one shape-shifting alien. Yeah, but these are set in a world where so it's 1,000 years in the future. So already the human beings themselves would mess up the representation of the Regency era, since it's at that point, what, 1,200 years in the past. And then, and we already are not good at representing things that happened 1,200 years ago. So I just imagine that there's a lot of really silly little things that would happen in the future. So they think of like Jane Austen as a historian instead of as a, an author. And then also they're dealing with the fact that like they kind of like just kidnapped, not kidnapped, but like they acquired these humans off of like another ship that had kidnapped them. And so they're not coming in with books like as references. They only have like the memories of the humans to go by. So they have a hologram machine that like can also read their minds and then like try to output it into holograms. And so in the garbled memories of the humans like idea of the Regency, it spits it out into like a very silly kind of representation of the Regency. It's so really complicated when I explain it, but it's fun. Thank you. I drew the covers for both of those.
What?
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
You do wear a lot of hats.
You do.
Wow.
It's really hard to get stuff done. I do too much.
And I want to not skip over this comment because I thought it was really interesting. Zach said, I just read Mummy Sorry, which had a female mummy. Does Latrexa have plans for more monster girls, and are femme monsters underrepresented?
Femme monsters are definitely underrepresented, and I do have plans. Actually, the next book that I'm releasing, which I was supposed to release like a week or two ago, but mental health stuff. But anyways, that one has a female werewolf. So I'm excited about that one. It's definitely a revenge story. I think that part of the difficulty, so I think there's like two sides to having like a female monster. Is one, I think that the power that like is inherent in being a monster is so fun to play with, and also then you get to like play with the power dynamics in gender and everything, and two, like there's also the need to just want to be accepted and be chill for who you are, which I think is inherent to all monster romances. Is like, because I mentioned this on the panel, but my thesis on monster romances, it's inherently intersectional. It's all about loving the other and accepting the other, and like that we all as others have a place in this world, and that we shouldn't be disregarded for any part of something that we can't like change about ourselves, right? So I think I have one story that I had to put on hold because I got too many other things. So I had a Valentine's Day romance between a devil and an angel. That one's sapphic, that I had to put on pause because I had too much on my plate. So both of those were female monsters, because I think angels are monsters as well. And then so yeah, I do have also my my Sacrifice to Monster Gods series. I had pretty much every pairing you could think of written out, with like a female monster, male human, female monster, female human, male monster, male human, trans female monster, basically like every single like orientation of different pairings that you could imagine. But I had to put that one on hold because the next book in that series, if I ever get to finish it, is like about homelessness. And then part of my quest with that series is being able to not just show like different mental illnesses and like struggles and things like that, but also to give people some coping mechanism, or like a call to action in some ways, where I don't want people to feel helpless. And I think that homelessness is one of the most like utterly like debilitating things in this world. And so I was trying to think of I was doing a lot of research on like people who are doing actual outreach and everything to uplift the unhoused and stuff like that. So yeah. I have too many ideas.
I love that you're bringing like an issue that is obviously worldwide to an audience that may not typically read about that, just to give them some, I mean, not only to be a comfort to those who are dealing with it or have dealt with it, but also to open the eyes of people who maybe have never dealt with it, to kind of, you know, to reach that audience as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like when I said that I have like these important things I want to say, I do think that like you can both like have space to be silly and everything, but also like educate people a little bit. And like this is like a running joke with all of my books, is that I'll accidentally teach you something. Like you know, you're gonna get a pilgrim orgy in the same book as you're gonna get a more, I guess, full history of Thanksgiving than you would have gotten in the rest of your life, unless like you're like me and just continue like going back to history and like relearning about stuff. Or one of the comments I got about Hot Summer's Prey is that somebody was like, I don't know what was real and what was made up as far as like the stuff in the ocean. And because I did a lot of like actual like marine biology research, as well as like the physics behind water and like the ocean and sound and things like that, and just like a whole bunch of things. So there are like a lot of like really grounded actual like ocean facts inside of that one.
That's crazy. I feel like authors are just full of just knowledge, just random facts and knowledge.
Yeah, it's got to go somewhere.
That's awesome.
Well, if you could spend like one day with any of your characters, who would it be, and what kind of things would you get up to?
Oh, I should have thought about these questions a little more. I feel like, honestly, I think Picari might be like my favorite as far as like somebody that I've just loved to hang out with, because so Picari is in Hot Summer's Prey, and he has like a little garden of bioluminescent plants and creatures that he keeps, and so he also is like a shapeshifter, and he collects sex magic. But I just think it would be so fun to like explore the ocean. And he works out a little trade with a sea witch in order to make it so that his human can do so. So I think Picari would be a lot of fun. Yeah, just I find the ocean terrifying and beautiful, and I think I do like kind of have thalassophobia because when I went to Belize for my mom's anniversary, 5th anniversary with her husband, my brother and I or my mom and my brother and I all went on this like a scuba, not scuba, snorkeling trip where we would go around the different islands and like look at the reefs and stuff. And my brother decided to swim from one island to the other. And so then I wanted to keep up with him because I was really competitive at the time. So I started swimming, even though I was like horribly out of shape at this time. And he's like massively outpacing me to the point where like he's already at the other island and I'm like halfway between. And I like decide I'm like, all right, no, I'm just gonna keep going. And I dive back under the water and I lock eyes with this barracuda, and I just like it hits me how alone I am. Even though like my brother's on the other island, my mom and everybody else in the snorkeling trip was at the one. But I was like, but if anything happens to me in the middle of this, like it would take my brother so much time to get here, it would take my mom so much time to get here. I would just like be so screwed. And like I just got hit by like the expansiveness of the ocean.
Yeah, I always think about like what would be more scary, the ocean or space.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you know, I think about that too because I did write like a comedic horror short about somebody getting stuck in space. Because like I said, sci-fi is like where my roots are. Yeah, I mean, we have so much that we haven't explored in the ocean, and I think, but also at the same time, like I was listening to there's a I think it's a Veritasium video where he's like nobody really understands how big space actually how big the universe actually is. And so like he went around like interviewing people and he had them like organize, all right, what's bigger and all this stuff. And then he was like, okay, well, what do you think is in between like these different galaxies that are like insanely like far apart? And like the answer is nothing. There's just nothing in between them. That's like crazy to think about, is like we are such a tiny speck in this world, and even in our own like earth we are such a tiny speck compared to like the expansiveness of the ocean. And then also, you know, there's so much horror and beauty in in both.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I'm honestly terrified of both.
Everything's you know what they say, everything's better where it's wetter.
Yeah.
And then there's a comment about The Worm and His Kings by Haley Piper had an interesting homelessness angle.
Oh, interesting. I'll have to look into that. Yeah. That whole series, it's not just about like it's not just about homelessness, but it's also about like just mental health in general. So like the first one's about like grief, and the second one's about like overworking yourself. The third one is about schizophrenia, and also like so I have an aunt who has schizophrenia, and so I drew on a lot of that, especially because I think within like 2 years of writing it, I had gone on this road trip with my aunt, or where I ended up driving with my aunt because her son had difficulty staying in the car for a very long time with him. We had to drive from Oregon down to Southern California. And so I was like, yeah, I'm really good at like people who have like interesting brains. So I was just listening to her the whole way down and stuff like that, and trying to direct her towards things that are, because she like imagined she had like bugs in her hair. And stuff. So anyways, I took a lot of inspiration from her, and also my experiences with other friends who have, if not schizophrenia, like similar mental illnesses and stuff like that, because they all have like kind of, there's certain presentations of it that kind of cross over. So yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I know you collaborate a lot with other indie authors, but if you could choose any author to collaborate with that you haven't collaborated with before, who would you choose?
Do you mean collaborate like co-write, or collaborate like work on a shared world together?
Either or.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the answer for people I haven't co-written yet with who I desperately need to are Sylvia and Cassie, because I mean they're my best friends and I haven't co-written with them. It's a tragedy. As far as people who I haven't worked on anything with, I'm trying to think. I just think, okay, I think Harley LaRue is super freaking cool, and it would just be so cool to work on something together.
You guys,
one of my favorites.
That would be the best collab ever.
Yes,
honestly.
they're like one of my favorite.
Yeah, I love
authors.
them.
Yeah.
And they're so sweet too. I always get excited when they like reply or like something that I said on Threads.
That would be fun. We gotta get Harley to come like more to the. Well, they're kind of already like they do write some paranormal stuff. But
yeah.
You know, kind of like the monster-esque.
So. I do think I find some of their characters a little like on the monster side. Like the what is that series called? The one that they
Witch is that one?
I don't know. My brain's so bad at remembering titles sometimes.
I feel that.
I read this 3 years ago too, so I was like, I don't know. I don't know anymore.
I want to read more by Harley LaRue.
Yeah.
Me too.
Oh, actually, Harley has a really great, really short, fast, smutty Halloween story. I think it's called The Haunt. That one's easy to remember the title of. But it's not paranormal, but it is like it hits the spot. It's just these two people. They go to a haunted maze, and it's very sexy.
Is it Halloween Haunt?
Oh yeah, I think it's Halloween Haunt. See, I couldn't even remember that title.
No, you're good.
I'm like trying
to read that.
Pull it up for like in queue to read. It's 32 pages, guys.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's very easy to get through. When I wrote the 13 Kinks, I like made sure to read anything that could be like any paranormal or monster romance that had come out at the time, but there wasn't a lot that was set on Halloween specifically. There's that, and there's also Monster Flicker, which is a Halloween story.
I'm looking this one up.
That one is about, I think it's a sword that's possessed by a demon, and then like the FMC goes on like a crazy murder rampage.
Is this Teresa Hahn?
Yeah, that sounds right. Okay. It's a lot of fun.
Well, I mean, we've got a few more days till Halloween, guys.
Yeah.
No, really. These are great recommendations for this week.
Yeah.
On KU, can I, support these authors?
Yes.
So one question I always like think about from like a reader perspective is or like not question, but one thing I think about from a reader perspective is like what message the author tries to send. Because sometimes it's sometimes I feel like there is a message within a book, like for example, let me pull it up. And the message may not always be like, I don't know what the right word. Okay, like let me show you. Pushing cushions.
Yeah.
There's a message behind it. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
F you to certain people. So, what do you wish that readers understood about like indie authors? Like, is there something that you want them to take away from the books that you read?
I mean, like
you're right.
Message number one is that we all deserve love, no matter how like fucked up we are or like anything. Like, there's nothing that stops us from like that basic, right or need, right? So, I think along with that is like it requires work to get through it, but with a lot of like with a lot of love you can get through a lot. And then also on top of that, it's that I guess one of the underlying themes to a lot of my books is that there's a lot of systems that will try to tear us down, but it's in finding community and everything with each other that we can build ourselves back up and fight against it, which is also why going back to Jacked Up, it's why Jacked Up has like the ending that it does, is because they don't really have community. They're not really able to rebuild that. It's just vengeance. So and like it is difficult to like make a better, kinder world. And so I think there's certain aspects of that like make it into my books and everything. And also that I really like to just take concepts of like people that are misunderstood in different ways to give them a little spotlight, because ultimately we are all just people. We all just want to be like loved and accepted and things like that. And so everything I do is kind of in pursuit of explaining, like, just can we all think of each other more as people and less as like, you know, little characters on the side of screens and things like that. Like it's about, I guess, humanizing every one of us, every monster that I have and all that.
Yeah, I love that.
I love that, yeah.
Thanks.
Can you give us any hints about what you're working on next or what you're going to release next? I know you have a lot of ideas, which I love that. I'm very excited.
Okay, so on the roster of things that I have coming out, pretty much immediately as soon as I like get up, this is going up before Halloween, or I'm going to be so upset with myself. I'm finishing Shock and Pause, which is my female werewolf story. It's a dark circus romance, so that one is going to be screwed up like Jacked Up, but I don't know if it's going to be as silly as Jacked Up. So far it's not. It's pretty dark without being silly, but I'm going to sneak some silly in there because it's me. And then I also have the audiobook for the 13 Kinks, which again, we'll see if I manage to do this before Halloween, but I am not going to forgive myself, and I feel like it's not going to happen, but I want to get at least one of the books out. I have The Devil You Don't Know almost entirely edited. It's just like some sound effects. Also, because of my history as like somebody who did audio dramas, I've been putting a lot of pressure on myself to like fully make a fully immersive audio book. So I am doing like not just sound effects, but also like making it as conversational and all this stuff as possible. And everyone who I've shared bits of it with so far has really enjoyed it. So that's nice. And then also I have the other two books that I'm trying to get out because everything is just like, it's Sparta in here. It's like the 300 and we're just trying to take out what we can. But I have Grumpy Sunshine, which is, I forgot to finish this part of my tangent about the literal romances. But Grumpy Sunshine is about a literally grumpy sunshine. And, but it's also like my attack on AI and the destruction of our resources.
Yeah.
Because the whole concept for it is there's like an Elon Musk character who just wants to keep like draining Earth of its resources, but like it's, you know, making global warming worse. So what does he think he should do? He thinks he should make it so the sun doesn't get as hot. So he sends like a team out to it's a reverse Sunshine, that movie with Cillian Murphy in it.
Oh my goodness.
So anyways, yeah. That, and then I'm also working on Summer Lovecraft, which is the second in my Wet Hot Monster Summer series, and then also on Crawl Home to Her, which is a zombie romance that is kind of like taking concepts of like vegetarianism and veganism and stuff like that, and then mixing it also with like the whole concept, like the whole root of zombie romances is that it's all about the fear of the many. And so in this day and age when we are constantly made to hate like large swaths of people, I wanted to spin that on its head. So I have too much that I'm working on.
I just love like all the creative idea. I'm the same way with content. I have too many ideas, but I just don't have the time or the capacity to like do everything.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just don't do anything.
Yeah, I definitely get hit with a lot of executive dysfunction, but sometimes I'm actually able to like rally and get things figured out. So, yeah.
Are you doing the audiobook all by yourself?
So I did hire a voice actor to do I hired two voice actors, and they're switching off. Part of the reason for that is because in the 13 Kinks, there's at least one Black character that like the guy would have to voice over for, and it's like we just wanted to be more ethical about that. So the original actor that I hired was white, and he was like, we should really hire someone else for doing these parts because I don't want to take someone else's spot. And I was like, yeah, that's a fair point. So, and then also on top of that, I was like, I don't feel comfortable just like giving one part to a Black man. So I would like to give half of the roles to him, and then you can do the other half. And he was like, yeah, that's fine with me. So, so they're sharing all of the male roles, and then I'm doing all the female roles and all the narration, except for one of the stories is narrated by a guy. So, yeah, it's the first voice actor that I hired was this guy Eli. He's on Quid. I highly recommend, if you love my stuff, you will love everything that Eli does, because our brains are so similar. We write like we both do things for the bit as seriously as we possibly can. And he has some really great Monster Fucker audios too. He has got a great Jekyll and Hyde. He's got this on his Patreon. He's got this really great one about a vampire. He's got two great ones about vampires on his Patreon. On Quinn, he has his Jekyll and Hyde audio. He also has I'm trying to remember what else. I don't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, he's great. And then the other actor that I have is Noir Thornton. No, hold on. Noir. That wasn't even his last name. Either way. We have I can't remember what, sorry, he's doing a different name for this because it's erotica. So Noir, and I will remember what his last name is later.
That's okay.
But yeah, I think he's new to doing erotic stuff, but he gave me a really great audition. So yeah.
Nice.
I'm looking forward to the audio then.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah.
I'll send you a little clip of it, and then you'll get really excited, and then you'll help bully me into finishing it faster.
We're good at bully romance.
I can do that because I was reading your books, and then like my husband loves to read smut with me, but he doesn't physically read. He likes to listen.
I see.
He's not the best reader, but no shade.
Yeah.
But I want him to read your book so bad, so that he would totally listen to the audiobooks, and it would be amazing.
Yes. Yeah, Jacked Up is going to be the next one I do an audiobook for after the 13 Kinks. And I have Eli agreed. Sorry. It's like not technically a contract. It's an agreement to do that one too.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then speaking of like audio stuff, so Zach said, what music does Latrexa listen to for inspiration or the vibes?
I listen to mostly two things. One is everything Hosier has written or made, really, because by the way, Crawl Home, that book is heavily inspired by listening to Hosier way too much.
That's awesome.
And then the other thing I listen to is I have a playlist called Dark Desires that I made of just like kind of monster related, dark sounding, sexy sounding music, and it's like the majority of what I listen to are those two things. But I really love Ludo. I love Depeche Mode. I love Laura Marling is her name, and also I like kind of weirder music too. So there's a band called Vagabond Opera, which does kind of like whimsical circus, but also like it's like cabaret whimsical circus music.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I listen to and a lot of Broadway. I have to admit, I am a theater kid, even though I don't want to admit it.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
there isn't. I'm just like, I'm a weird brand of someone accused me of being a theater hipster the other day because I was like, I only like listening to a very select type of like musical theater.
No, that's awesome. And
Yeah.
you mentioned circus, so like Paula has a question here about why is the circus play a theme in some of your books?
I just really like the circus. I've always been fascinated by it to the point that when I was 15, okay, wait, no. This goes back. My family went on a trip to Hawaii and we went to this water park, and in the middle of the water park there was a flying trapeze. And instead of spending my entire day at the water park, somehow I got my dad to pay for me to go on this flying trapeze over and over and over until we finally decided to leave. And then I came home and my grandpa built me like just a regular trapeze in his front yard. And and then like I was also in gymnastics and stuff when I was a kid. And when I was 15, I was given free reign to find a camp, and then my mom would send me to it because I grew up kind of wealthy. And so well, I grew up pretty wealthy, and then it dropped off after my parents divorced when I was 11, and then really dropped off when I was an adult. But
Relatable.
yeah. But anyway, I got exposed to a lot of really cool stuff when I was a kid. So when I was 15, I found this camp that is in Pennsylvania where they have literally everything. They had like a BMX trail, they had a theater program, they had a film program, they had a digital you could do coding and stuff. They had a dungeon for Dungeons and Dragons, and they had a circus program. So
I thought you were gonna say a dungeon for something else.
No, it's a children's camp.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, so I went for the circus program, and then I also found out they were doing Into the Woods for the master session, and I was like, I want to be the witch so badly in Into the Woods. So then I ended up staying there for the entire summer so I could do the master session too. And I was stuck between wanting to do the theater program, the film program, the coding program, the dungeon program, and the circus program. Luckily they also had these things called dailies where you could like go experiment at other like parts of the camp too if you had signed up for your like prime, which was the thing that you do every day. So yeah, there's that. And then I also like when I got older, I got really into like doing aerial silks and stuff like that, and I just have always ended up in situations where like the circus is ever present in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sound like so much fun.
Yeah, you have such a unique background. I love it.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like compulsively on a quest to be as interesting as I can. There's like there's a Chuck Palahniuk quote that I think is from Invisible Monsters. It's all God does is watch us and kill us when we get boring. We must never ever be boring. And I've kind of lived by that, I guess.
I like that.
Yeah.
You're
that
like,
makes life interesting, you know?
Yeah.
No, you have to do all the side quests that you can in
Yes.
life, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I've just always been fascinated by things that are a little bit like off and weird. So that's how I've ended up exploring so many.
Well, thank you for sharing about you and your life and your books. Like, I think this was like a really fun opportunity to, you know, get to know you a little bit more than just the stories that you've created. Like, I always find it fun when I've read an author's book and then I meet them and I'm like, yeah, they're like so fun. Like, you know, like their brain made this work of art.
Yeah.
And then I like to hear like what inspired these things. Is it something kind of like a passion that they have, or something kind of like a political drive? Is it something like a message they have, you know, like whatever the case might be.
Yeah.
So it's always really
usually
fun.
like a mix of all of that.
Yeah. So thank you so much. Is there like anything that you know, before we sign off for the evening, is there anything that you want to share, like socials, or like where people can connect with you, anything like that?
I'm Latrexa Nova on all platforms, as far as, well, all the platforms that I felt like signing up for, I guess. So it's Instagram and Facebook, and I'm not on X, Twitter anymore. I am trying to use Blue Sky every now and then. I'm just really bad about it. And TikTok. I'm on Instagram the most. I check in with TikTok every now and then, and I avoid Facebook as much as I can. And then I will eventually send out a newsletter. I'm so sorry to my newsletter followers. I'm gonna try and do it before Halloween. We'll see. The place I am most active is on Discord. I do have a little Discord community. It's very chill, very quiet. But not only is it for people to enjoy my books, but I think what's even more like active in my personal Discord is like there's a tiny little section for creatives. So if you're a writer of any kind, whether it's fan fiction or like, professional, I have that open, and like I've got a couple of poets in there too, and we all just try to root each other on. I also co-run the Monster Fudgers server with Meg, who's Sam Nescosta's PA, and she I think is a PA for a couple of other people too. But anyway, so we co-run that, and it's more active than my personal server, but I'm also modding for Monsterotica. So while Monsterotica is super active, I tend to be a lot less active modding Monster Fudgers. But anyway, any of the communities that I have, everyone's welcome to all that.
Yep. Yeah. And I put your website down below, which I think does have links to like all the social you signed up for.
Yeah.
And, Instagram and stuff, like just the quick ones if anybody is wanting to follow you there. But yeah, so definitely, go check out Latrexa's work and let us know what you think. Like I'm sure me and Brie would love to yap about books. We love just reading all kinds of stuff. So
yeah.
Literally everything.
Yes.
But yeah, thank you for joining us, and thank you everybody in the chat for commenting or asking questions. Like I love when people come, and I always say, like, even if it's like just one person that showed up, as long as like that one person is like getting introduced to somebody new and like wants to check out their work, like I feel like I've done my due diligence with the book community. I'm like, I just want people to learn more about the authors that I enjoy reading from. So
yeah, it's just these little connections, they all build up.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So
thank you guys.
Thank you.
When I hit end, it's gonna play like a little outro and then fade to black.
Cool.
But thank you so much for joining, and
thank you guys.
Have a good night.
Night.